Some films scare you in the moment, some rewire you permanently. Jaws just didn't make you afraid of the ocean, it made you aware of space, of what you can't see beneath you, of how silence can feel heavier than sound. I wasn't alive in 1975. I didn't sit in a packed summer theater before blockbusters were a thing. But when that fin cuts through the water and those two notes begin their slow approach, I feel like I was there, in that cultural moment where Hollywood shifted.
It's all psychological. You yell barracuda. Everybody says, huh? What? You yell shark. We've got a panic on our hands on the 4th of July.
Before he was Steven Spielberg, institution, he was a young director coming off the Sugarland Express, adapting Peter Benchley's bestseller with a mechanical shark that refused to work. The production was a disaster by every studio metric, over budget, over schedule, stranded at sea. And because the shark malfunctioned, Spielberg did something radical. He hid it.
It's not the time it takes to take the take that takes the time. It's the time it takes between the takes that takes the time that takes to take.
Constraint became invention. The ocean became negative space. The horror became psychological. Instead of spectacle, he gave us anticipation. Instead of gore, he gave us absence. You don't fear the shark because you see it. You fear because you don't.
$10,000 for me by myself. For that you get the head, the tail, the whole damn thing.
Amity isn't just a beach town. It's capitalism with a coastline. The mayor insisting the beaches stay open isn't a cartoon villainy. It's economic panic. Summer dollars over human lives. Optics over truth. The shark may be a physical threat, but denial is the moral one. The film asks quietly, what do we sacrifice to keep the illusion alive? And the answer is chilling.
For Christ's sake, tomorrow's the 4th of July, and we will be open for business. It's going to be one of the best summers we've ever had. Now, if you fellas are concerned about the beaches, you do whatever you have to make them safe. But those beaches will be open for this weekend.
Roy Scheider's Brody is the ultimate outsider, a New York cop afraid of water, stranded in a coastline town that worships it. He's not a mythic hero. He's tired, nervous, and human. That's why he works.
On the water?
Well, if we're looking for a shark, we're not going to find him on the land.
Yeah, but I'm not drunk enough to go out in a boat.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I can't do that.
Yes, you can.
Richard Dreyfuss's Hooper brings science and youth, technology against teeth. He believes problems can be solved with equipment and expertise.
Now, I'm not saying that this is not the shark. It probably is, Martin. It probably is. It's a man-eater. It's extremely rare for these waters. But the fact is that the bite radius on this animal is different than the wounds on the victim.
And then there's Robert Shaw's Quint. Quint isn't just a fisherman. He's trauma personified. His USS Indianapolis monologue stops the movie cold. No music, no cutting, just a man reliving horror in that moment.
You know the thing about a shark, he's got lifeless eyes, black eyes, like a doll's eyes. When he comes at you, he doesn't seem to be living until he bites you. And those black eyes roll over white, and then... Oh, then you hear that terrible high-pitched screaming. The ocean turns red. In spite of all the pounding and the hollering, they all come in, they rip you to pieces.
The shark stops being an animal and becomes inevitability. Fate with fins. The three of them on the orca, that's the real movie. A floating stage play about masculinity, fear, pride, and survival. John Williams didn't compose a theme. He composed a pulse. It's primitive, relentless. It doesn't describe the shark, it is the shark. The audience learns to associate rhythm with danger. Cinema conditioning at its most effective. It's hard to overstate this. Those two notes changed how thrillers are scored. They proved simplicity can be devastating. Once they leave the shore, the movie tightens. The horizon stretches forever, and nowhere feels safe. Spielberg turns open water into a claustrophobic arena, and then the shark finally rises, massive and undeniable.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
That line isn't just funny, it's existential. The problem is bigger than you thought. The world is bigger than your preparation. The shark's destruction of the orca feels symbolic. Man's illusion of control, splintering under pressure. Jaws invented the modern blockbuster. Wide summer release, massive marketing, lines around theaters. But beyond business, it shifted tone. It proved genre films could be artful, character-driven, and commercially dominant all at once. It made the ocean frightening. It made suspense mainstream. It made Spielberg inevitable. And it taught Hollywood that fear sells, especially when it's patient.
Smoking loge is sold out, seats downstairs in the first 7 rows only.
I can't swim in deep water without thinking about this movie. Not because Jaws taught me that the unknown is always there, beneath the surface of things, in politics, in institutions, and in ourselves. It's about vulnerability, about how the thin line is between leisure and terror, between civilization and nature, between confidence and panic. Jaws isn't a monster movie. It's a lesson in restraint, in tension, in the power of what you choose not to show. And nearly 50 years later, when I hear those two notes, I can't help but think of that shark.
Smile, you son of a...